Hello, true art believers. How are you doing today? This is Pierson here, and welcome to today's live art stream. I am the number one live art streamer in the world, and this is day 219 of 300 Days in Drawing, and we got another piping hot cloud drawing for you. Let's get today started because it's kind of late, and I want to, finish the day on top. All right. All right, welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well today. So today I'm going to be doing a few things differently. I am going to be using I'm going to be using some what am I going to be using? I'm going to be using references. I'm going to be using a reference today, which might yield a different outcome. We're going to see what happens. I have a little image on my right side. You can't see it because I don't have that fancy computer yet. Maybe I'll have to. Maybe in the future I'll be able to have two screens and I'll be able to show you the reference that I'm using when I'm drawing from. But today we're just going to kind of go from here. So I'm going to kind of look at it right now and kind of look at the shape here. I'm going to just kind of break it down into like straight lines, just simple. So I'm going to break it down to like these straight lines here. It looks kind of like this to me. So I'm going to be doing two little studies here. So I'm breaking down this cloud into kind of like straight lines, and it looks like a very weird U, almost kind of in space with form a little bit more details than that. But I'm just going to leave it as a weird U right now, and then go from there. So this is what it kind of looks like right now as a weird U. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to kind of dilute this, make it kind of more transparent. So that's going to be my underdrawing. I'm going to use that to kind of, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? This is new. This is new to me to kind of use a reference. So when I use references, I typically this is a little trick where you draw the object using straight lines, kind of simplify it into its like basic form. I'm not as good as many other individuals, but I'm decent at it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding some finer lines and finer details to kind of look like the shape that I see. All right, so this is going to take a little bit of time here. I don't know. I worry that doing having a reference is going to kind of inhibit like their creativity part. So that's why I typically don't do references. Actually, that's the excuse. That's not really a good reason why to not use references. I just hate using them. And I'm not particularly good at using them to the best of my ability. And, so since we have a 30-minute time limit today, I'm not gonna spend too much on the actual like using the reference point as the actual like by all like means to an end. It's just going to be kind of like it's going to look kind of like it but not really like it, you know. So I just kind of tighten up these things, and really what happens here is there's this area right here, the cloud kind of does something like this and does something like this and does this thing right here, and then it does a little shape right here, and then it breaks off into a little form like this. Probably doesn't even look like that, but yeah, it doesn't even look like that in reality. And we're just kind of adding like a little bit of artistic license here. There you go. So there's our line. That's what our cloud looks like. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to be working on the shadow. We're going to work on some shadow. We're going to use the shadow. I've been gone all day and I haven't had water at all. And I am just so thirsty. Have you ever had that situation where you've been busy all day and you just haven't had anything to drink, and then you start drinking any like fluids and you're like, oh my gosh, my body's saying you are super dehydrated and you need to drink stuff. So that's the shape of the cloud. Again, I feel References are going to be nice to use for now on from now on, but like it's going to take me a little bit of time to kind of get to a point where I know how to use the references to the best of my ability. Um, because when I have a reference, I still the same with my own drawings. I still have to kind of fiddle with it and mess around with it. And I can tell you right now, what's going to happen is it's going to not look like a cloud because I kind of became a little too rigid with the line work, and so I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to fix that. So it's not even going to feel like a cloud, really. It kind of look. If I look back, maybe it kind of looks like a cloud, like a very bad one, but it's not really feeling like a cloud. It's not giving that fluffy feeling that you normally get. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I can use my references and kind of exaggerate them to have that kind of like cloud appearance. And that might mean I have to kind of tighten up making these lines feel a little bit more fluffy or bubbly because I'm not really giving them the same. I'm not giving the it enough like oomph. So we're just going to play around here and see what happens and see how I can use this reference. I can already tell you right now I'm going to be struggling with using references for like for a black and white cloud drawing. I can already tell you that it's going to be a big struggle to do that. So I'm going to be struggling a little bit, and so it's going to take me some time to kind of get used to it, right? So I'm going to be trying to get used to this idea of drawing clouds, um, black and white, and from a reference. So it's going to take me a little bit of manipulation. It's going to take some practice, and it's just one of those things. You got to get used to this idea of kind of like making errors, you know. And typically, when we're drawing, we're always kind of like, hey, we're never going to make any we're never going to make any mistakes, right? So I'm trying a different method this time. So I'm going to be using, I need to add that contrast. And since I'm using a reference, I need that contrast because I want to get some of the value that I'm seeing in this cloud here. What's happening? I don't see it. Okay, so my print. Okay, let's see here. There we go. I was just trying to get my brush to work. So what I'm doing to kind of play around with this is I'm not using an eraser. I'm using the same pencil, but I'm using the just using white. So I'm adding like it's like using a white pencil, I guess. And then I'm adding back tone. And what I'm going to be doing for the next 5 or so minutes is trying to figure out how to kind of manipulate the cloud tones to work to my advantage. And that's going to take me some time, unfortunately. There we go. And then after that, we're going to try another cloud on the bottom here. And then hopefully the next cloud will be a little bit better, you know? And this is how it always this is how it is, everyone. Like when you're doing these live streams and you're doing drawings in particular, you're not always going to be like creating gold, you know? I think sometimes, yeah, you're not always going to be creating the best work, and there's always going to be a little bit of junk that you're making for a while in the meantime. Sometimes you're making some junk. You know, you can make a little bit of a like visual garbage. Maybe I might go in the fine line here area, and we might go in here and kind of make these clouds feel a little bit more animated, a little bit more like clouds, or at least have that fluffy looking feel to them here. Kind of add some. Yeah, it does not feel like clouds at all. So you got this cloud right here. There you go, a little. There's this area right here that is much brighter than I'm giving it credit. So just playing around here, and that's all I need to do is I need to fiddle around with the value range so that I'm getting the contrast levels that I want. Again, clouds are tricky, especially if you're doing them in black and white. And I haven't, this is the first time I've used a reference of clouds, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to manipulate the, I switched photos accidentally. How did I do that? There we go. Okay. How I'm going to manipulate the contrast to work to my advantage here. So I have to figure out, do I want the background to be darker, right? Which I might have to do in certain areas. Like maybe on the tops, I might have to make the top area brighter or darker just for the effect, even though like it's not dark out. I might want just to make that darker just so I have this illusion of a cloud or illusion of depth. And just to kind of get a better understanding of how to manipulate my clouds here. All right, so we're not really getting, not really, this is going to be one, this kind of an exploratory drawing where I'm trying to just explore how to use a reference to my benefit, because right now a bit of a struggle, no joke. Like I went from progressing forward, and then I started doing a new thing, which was use a reference, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to start having references. But now um, it goes against like my own aesthetic, and I'm trying to figure out how I can blend those together, and also learn from it, and figure out what way should I go about it. Like perhaps I should not go about it as a line drawing. Perhaps I should go about it more as a value drawing, especially if I'm using a reference point, a reference material. And so that might be what I'll do the next one. I might use a value. Maybe I might start out as like a value drawing and kind of mass out my forms. So I might do that and see what happens. So I have like 40 seconds. So I might just do that one, do it that way the next time, and then see what happens. All right. So now we're going to go and do another drawing. So from afar, when I look at the thumbnail, it's not that bad. I don't really think it's great, but it's not bad. So what I think I'm going to do this time for this drawing is we're going to approach it kind of like we're going to go it backwards. We're going to approach it as like a charcoal drawing and see how that works. You know, we're going to see how that works if I do it that way. And that might change the outcome. So I'm going to mask out the background like this. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it up. And this is what you should be doing, is trying to change up your styles in relation to what's happening. So right now, what's not working for me is drawing, like doing a line drawing from a cloud like of a reference of a cloud. Does that make sense? Using the reference, my cloud reference, and doing a line drawing from that. That's not working for me personally. So what I need to do is probably just start out with a a blobular, like do the like the negative space shape of that cloud that I'm going to be working with. But we're going to do it as like just a purely as a kind of like we're just going to do a part of it kind of like a black and white. So we're going to start out by doing that and see how that works out for me. So this is a section of a cloud, actually. You're not really going to see the whole cloud. I think the cloud kind of comes off the paper. So we're just going to kind of do that. And we're just going to, I already lost where I was at. Okay, I think I know where I'm at. We're going to do this right here. And then we're just going to kind of blacken that and see how this works out. So we're going to do it a different approach, right? And I'm just going to have the cloud come off the page like this, right? So we're going to go about it a different way and see how that turns out, okay? And then we'll see what happens. Oh, why am I going to, like, I went to a completely different photo. There we go. Get out of here. I got all these like pop-ups on the side of my window. Go. Get out. I don't want those things. We don't want you. Get out of here. All right, so we're just going to we're just going to add some of these forms that I'm seeing and see how this works. See if this might be a way that I might want to pursue future clouds. I don't know. I don't know. This could be a little problematic. We're going to see how this works, though. Again, it's not no problem. I'm just experimenting. Maybe I should go on top of it a little bit, like lighten it up fully. There you go. Do something like that. And I know, and then maybe like so we go right here, and then maybe in the background we do a little color swab. And do this, darken up the background. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I only have a little bit more than 11 minutes to kind of deal with it. So what I might have to do is, if I do these cloud studies, I might have to do 1 30-minute study where I'm just fiddling around with it, and I might have to turn it on like horizontally, because clouds are pretty much horizontal. They're like wide, and I'm having trouble fitting in the clouds because of the way that all that the way that I have the paper oriented, you know. So now we have that, and let's see. We're just gonna kind of generic do a white outline here on some of these areas here. And I know that there's this area that the cloud kind of pops up right here. And then it kind of goes down, and then it pops up right here. And then it kind of goes down again, I guess, pops up or whatever. It's really bright right here. And there's this area right here. It's like really, really. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, fellas. I'm just kind of fiddling with it, hoping things kind of come through, come from it. But it is what it is. Don't be. I'm not. I can't really. At this point, I can't be like upset at like, oh, this didn't turn out the way that I wanted it. I've kind of resided to the fact that this is going to be a very long process for me because I'm one of those artists that really it takes me a long time to learn things. And but when I learn them and understand them, I know them better than most people because I have been through like the worst aspect of like what makes these drawings. There we go, get that. So as you can see, I'm just kind of fiddling around here and basically doing like what would be like a traditional drawing would be it'd be a like a reductive drawing essentially. It'd be a reductive drawing, I guess. All right, so we're going to kind of take away some of these forms here. And yeah, I can't tell what it looks like, but it looks pretty good. It looks kind of it's forming like it's forming something. It looks kind of like a cloud, but like a black and white cloud, I guess. Whatever that means. And now we got these dark tones. Let's go back here and then let's go add some dark tones or try to. Uh, There we go. Sometimes my pencil brush just kind of forgets that it's there. And it's really dark right here. There's like this coarse shadow here. And then it lightens up around here a little bit. So I might leave that like that. And then we're going to add this, there's this area like this like form here that's kind of going off to the side here. You know, and that's what it's doing. And then there's some areas here that are lighter, but probably not that light, but we're just going to leave it like that anyways. Kind of do this. And then there's some light dark area right here. So it's going to look like this abstract form um, coming through space, and and it's going to take some time. Unfortunately, I probably won't have enough time to work through it. So what I really do think I'm going to have to do through this first bout of using references. I'm going to have to do a. They're going to have to be 30-minute drawings, 30-minute like graphite drawings, black and white drawings. Um, and I'm really going to have to probably do it the opposite way. I don't think I can do it with a line drawing, or at least not yet. Maybe in the future I'll be able to introduce that element, but right now, what I feel would work the best is treating it as a kind of like a reductive drawing where I kind of uh, erase tones and add tones back in. Unfortunately, also what's kind of problematic with doing these references is like the reference area is so small. It's so small. So I'm like using a small photo. So what I might need to do is ahead of time, what I might need to do is do a little bit of like cropping. Like actually with my reference photo, what I might do is I might edit the photo to fit the same aspect ratio of uh, my drawing itself. So I actually will have a better understanding of how where I'm gonna place everything. So I'm not gonna get anything done. This is not gonna look like anything. It's gonna look like a bunch of garbage actually, and that's fine. I learned through this experience, and I learned a little bit about how I should go about this in the future. And that's what you want to do when you're doing drawings. Just kind of break it down and think about like what's going wrong and what from your own drawing experience, what can you do to make it better for you and make the drawing better or make it more successful next time. And so I'm just trying to kind of reverse engineer some of these aspects, you know, and I'm just kind of trying to reverse engineer it and then think about that what's missing, right? And what can I do um, next time that will make it a little bit more successful. And so I'm just thinking about that, and and I think I've learned a little bit from this experience, and I'm going to have to write down what I did wrong, what I did right, and what how I should approach this next time. And I think next time I'm going to write it down. After this live stream, I'm going to sit down and write down what I need to be doing and kind of come up with like a step-by-step process, or at least a process that I can kind of start with and then move from there. So I have some ideas. So the first thing I would probably do is I'd mask out the background gray. And the next thing is I would mask out the negative space as a giant black mass, and then I'd start adding the highlights on there, and then I start defining those forms a little bit more. I think that's the best way to go about it. Also, preparatory work would include me. I think preparatory work would be cropping out the image prior, so I know exactly where what I'm drawing, so I don't have as many questions as I do now, especially since I'm using references. If I'm using references, it'd be good to know where they're going to be positioned in the paper with regards to the drawing itself. So that'd be helpful. So that's what I'm going to be doing next time. So it's good to think about that stuff. And I'm going to probably be one of those artists that's going to push the contrast on these core shadows so that they I just feel like I like pushing contrast more than there really is contrast. Like if there more than there really is. Like it's very beneficial. I always find it's helpful to make it seem brighter than it really is, or make the tones seem brighter, make everything more vivid than they really are, because you want to have more contrast in your entire drawing. Yeah, this is not that good. So I'm learning some stuff. That's why I'm doing 100 Days of Clouds, folks. Yeah, so it looks like a bunch of blob mass, like a big old blobby mass. Not good. I'm not proud of this, but I think there's going to be this happens to me a lot. I don't know if it happens to you. When you're an artist, there's like a messy phase where you're like your art is like going through like this phase where it looks kind of bad, and at least I have this often where like it gets really bad. I kind of like regress in some ways, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push past a certain certain aesthetic that I'm not used to, and so I'm trying to push past that aesthetic and do something a little bit differently. And doing that different thing typically kind of makes it kind of regresses me in certain aspects of my drawing. And so this is going to be what's going to happen for a while. So I'm going to have like this regression in my work, and that's fine. It's fine to have that from time to time. From like when I'm looking at the thumbnail here, it looks okay. It looks like a decent like study, but anyways, yeah. So that's what kind of happens is I have this. I'm scrolling through images now. There we go, because I'm not on there. There we go. And I think I'm about done. Yep, that's 30 minutes. That's it. Actually, I'm gonna do a few more things. I'm gonna make this a little bit darker here. And then what I wanted to do is kind of add these like little bitty forms here. So anyways, there is some growth. There's some oh wait, we can do some like right here. And there's this definitely like this spot right here. It's really dark. Anyways, I think that's it for the day. I'm going to sign it. Let's see, sign it. We're gonna go right here, and we're gonna go right here. It's not. I'm not gonna brag about this. Is nothing to brag about, but it's one of those stepping stone drawings. 219, where tomorrow will be a little bit better out of 300. So what I'm going to do next time, is I'm going to have I'm going to be using a reference point, but I'm going to have it cropped to fit the actual paper size that I'm working with, so I don't have any question about where things are going to be placed. I'm going to start out differently. I'm not going to start out as a line drawing, and I'm going to basically fiddle around with value and kind of tweak it and push it from there. I'm going to do that for roughly 10 days so when I hit day 230, that's when I'm going to do I'm going to go and move to like color and probably do the same. I'm probably going to switch. I'm still going to use references, but I'm going to switch it to color. And then what I'll do is I'll probably continue on with the cropping of my images, so I don't have any issues with that. I might just focus on one cloud at a time. I think I've kind of gotten past that whole sketching phase. This is not that good. Keep that. You gotta with your work. You know you gotta have those days where you're producing. You know, if I look at it, it kind of looks like a nice little abstract, like a nice start of a cloud, right? I can see where I'm going with it, but it's not like anything to brag about, right? And I like to say that about a lot of my work. Like it's a good start, but I'm not going to be going. I'm not going to go take this to the Louvre anytime soon, right? That's fine though, and it's going to take a while. But luckily, I'm very patient because, as you can see, I've done more than 200 live streams in a row, and I don't have any problems with working. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube or Twitch channel. I just drew a blank for a second. I was like, don't forget to subscribe to stuff. And share, like, comment, all that fun stuff. I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Monday. Well, tomorrow, Monday. All right. Cheers. This is Pierson. I am the #1 live art streamer. I am not the best art streamer. I'm the #1. There's a difference. The best one will be like really good at art. I'm different than that. Anyways, I'm going to figure out how I can explain that a little bit better. Like someone's not going to understand. Like, what do you mean? Your artwork's not that good. How can you be the best? I'm the best. No, I'm kidding. All right. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.